Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Aza?
I'm doing great.
That's great. Okay, so we're gonna have the IELTS speaking mock test here today. And now, to start it, I would like you to tell me about yourself. What do you do and about your education?
Okay, I'm Isa and I have done my graduation in Doctor of Pharmacy. Currently, I'm pursuing for Masters in Public Health from abroad.
All right.
Moreover, to stress myself, utilize my hobbies in a very productive manner,
Mhm.
and my future goal is to excel in my career.
All right. So you're not working anywhere nowadays. And do you have any plan to work in Pakistan?
Now, currently, I'm pursuing for Masters
All right.
instead of like job.
Okay, now we're going to move on toward the part one speaking. And the topic for the part one questions is the future. And my first question is, what job would you like to have 10 years from now and why?
In the future?
Yes.
As I already mentioned, I'm a pharmacist in a profession. In future, I will prefer firstly my master's degree.
All right.
Then, according to my course, I will decide to do what kind of job is appropriate for me at that particular time. And with my hope, so I will work as a community pharmacist in abroad.
All right. How useful will English be for your future? Why or why not?
As far as my concern, we can see in our surroundings, English is spoken all over the globe, and it's very mandatory to learn and to develop some spoken skills among us in our personality. So it will helpful anywhere in the world.
All right. How much traveling do you hope to do in the future?
I think I travel almost 2 to 3 times in future. It's depend on which country I will decide it. And currently, due to my concern of my health, I'm not decided yet what traveling I will be pursue.
And how do you think your life will change in the future?
Uh, as someone says, hope for the best. So I am pursuing best for me and working as a competent pharmacist in the future.
All right. That's the end of the part one. Now we're moving toward the part three, and later on I'll send you the part two topic, and then we'll have the 2 minute discussion on that, a 2 minute speech on that. Now my part three questions are about children and reading, and my first question is, what are the most popular type of children's books in your country?
Children books.
Yes. What type of books are very popular in children or children books which are popular nowadays?
I think the poem books are most popular from the poem books the children love to read, and there are sort of material that makes them laugh and learn a lot from these. So,
Just as you know, it's not only about the reading books anymore. Students or kids usually are watching poems on the television, or they're using YouTube, and they're watching that all the time. Do you really think that these poems are gonna give them some sort of benefit, or the poem books that you're talking about are gonna give them any benefit?
Yes, of course. I think they learn English from these movies and poems from YouTube. But as my perception, watching too much movies on too much points on YouTube or Netflix series may affect them. Instead of reading books is more appropriate for them. By reading, they learn the grammar, the spellings exactly. So it will be more benefit for them. But as you know that in nowadays, what the situation that we experience is everybody blames the parents that they just simply give the cell phone to the kids and they are watching the poems or some content in the YouTube or other might be application all the time. Do you think it's a good thing that parents are allowing children to watch YouTube poems and all? In some point, it's not true. By giving them mobile phones and social media all the time, it will affect their mental health as well. So I think there should be decided a particular time to give them to watching movies and also develop some reading skills among them. It will be helpful for them in the future. And in my perception, children learn at early age. What we learn but we try to learn them at early, they will be helpful for them in the future.
And how popular are the electronic books in your country?
I think it's of social media.
Hmm.
So these are very popular in my country, and the first compelling point is that we have a more convenient on electronic books rather than by purchasing any sort of books from the market and other.
All right, all right. So my last question is, will electronic books ever completely replace the printed books in the future?
Maybe because it's the era of artificial intelligence, and it will all the system will be robotic in the future. But somehow it may disturb the critical thinking of the personality and mankind. So it may be.
So what do you think? What is something that can help kids or the children to build their critical thinking skills?
I think by writing, they should try to write on daily life topics in our surroundings. There are so many topics. They try to pick some like education. They try to write something about according to their thinking, and this will improve their grammar and spelling mistakes as well.
That's great. Well, that is the end of the part 3. Now we are moving on toward the part 2. But before that, I would like you to hold on for a second. Let me give you the question for the part 2. All right, so now I'm going to give you this part 2 topic. Here comes the topic. And you have 1 minute to prepare your notes. And after that, I expect that you will speak for 2 consecutive minutes. Your 1 minute starts now. All right, time's up. And you have 2 minutes to speak on this topic, please. Would you please read out the question before I start the timer?
Describe a member of your family who are very close to. Why and how you can differentiate that particular member from others, and explain why she or he is close to you.
All right. Now I'm going to start your time. Your time starts now.
I'm going to talk about the most closest member of my family. The most closest member of my family is my mother. And parents are the blessings for everyone from Allah Almighty, and we are nothing without our parents. They are actually the true mentor for all of us. They guide us in every ups and downs in our life. So my mother always motivates me in every difficult situation. If I can suffer from any troublesome, any challenging task from my childhood to now, she always pillar for me, and she always put me into a work towards in a different way. And moreover, I want to say that she always guide me in a very different way from others. Other peoples are not pursue you as more closest rather than your parents. They try to help you in every situation. They guide us. For instance, I'm suffering from some health issues in the last few months, and my mother was the only true guider for me. She provides me support in every step. So that's the reason she more closest to me. And moreover, I want a lot of guidance from her in my every situation. And whenever I feel down, when the exams are on the top corner, and she always inspired me. You can do it. So these are the things that.
All right, time's up. Well, either in your part one, part three, and part two, there were a few mistakes that I would like to mention here. Specifically, let's take a start with the part two because it's the most recent one, and I'm also gonna share this video with you so you can watch it later and you can get it like when exactly you made these mistakes that I'm gonna mention right now. Number one, a most closest family member. What's the mistake?
Most.
Yeah, we are already using the third degree of adjective, closest. So closest, we don't use most closest. We don't need to use that.
Highest.
Yes, most highest. So it's just about highest. It's just about the closest. And you were saying it again and again that my mother is more closest to me. My mother is closest to me, or you can use some other words as well. There was a repetition of word when you were saying this thing because you said it, I believe, 3 to 4 times to me. Whenever I can suffer from any task, whenever I can suffer, it's simple. Whenever I suffer, and she always put me. She always puts me, and she always guides me. What you're saying is she always guide me. You have that SRES problem. You know that from the present indefinite. So she always guides me. She always puts me into some comfort zone or something. And I am suffering from health issue in last few months. What's the mistake? I was suffering from some health issues in last few months. So it should be I was. And talking about the part one, very mandatory. It is very mandatory. So very mandatory. You're not saying it's important. It's compulsory. You're already using mandatory. Mandatory is an advanced word. You don't need to say very mandatory. Mandatory would work. And I will decided. I was asking you questions related to the future. It would be I will decide. And then when you were speaking, by mistake, you said the word ya. And ya means that ya was the Urdu word. If you remember, you used that. Do you know that? Yeah. Okay. To watching movies, to watch movies. With two, we don't use watching. And then you said, I think, and I would suggest you instead of saying I think, you better use I believe in my perception and my point of view. Bit advanced vocabulary words. Well, I would rate your speaking at 6.5, or it can even go to 7 depending on the examiner. So it would start somewhere between 6.5 to 7. All right. Thank you so very much.